I encourage you, be yourself. If you're strange, if you're straightforward, if you're very blunt, if you're very quiet, if you're just reserved, be who you are and don't let people tell you you need to be something else. For you to build an audience that loves you undyingly, they're going to love you and be a fan of you as a human being first, and your music is what follows. Yo, what is up everybody? I am Legend. So how to build a fan base the right way. What actually inspired this video is something that has been happening a lot on this channel in particular, and I want to address the whole situation while giving you some of my personal advice on how to properly build a fan base in the current music industry and the way that everything is run. Some of you may not agree with my tactics or my viewpoints, my opinions, whatever it may be. That's totally fine. This is the way things are, and I kind of want to talk to you about why it's important to be this way and what you should do to start building your loyal fan base as a musician. It's not going to be so much the actions that you take as far as like marketing and putting yourself out there and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be saved for a different video. This video is going to be talking particularly about how to present yourself and how to interact with your fans in a genuine way that's going to leave both people satisfied. And it's not going to sacrifice your personality, your individuality as a musician, as an artist, because I think something that is becoming all too common these days are people thinking that you need to uphold a particular image that you think is professional, or you're trying to fit in some kind of category. But the way that I am seeing music go, and everything in general, especially with the implementation of social media, everything is going a particular way, and that way is organic. It's less polished and it's more just who you are. There's a million videos out there on the internet that teach you how to build your fan base, interact with your fans, interact with the people, the potential audience that you may have. But I don't see many talking about this particular thing. A lot of the supporters that I have telling me what I should and shouldn't do, or how I should and shouldn't respond, or the way that I should be operating as a musician, as a YouTuber, as a creative on this platform. And this really rubbed me the wrong way. Once you start getting into the territory where your audience is reaching thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, you'll start to notice this pattern where people will tell you, you need to do this, do that. You need to operate this way, do that way. And the thing is, a lot of people adhere to that. A lot of people, especially on YouTube and social media, they read those things and they think, oh, I need to operate myself in the way that they're saying, because some people are getting offended. Some people aren't liking the direction that I'm going in. Some people aren't liking how I'm handling the situation. So I have to satisfy my audience by being somebody that I'm not. As a result, it causes you to put on a fake front, to put on a fake image, to portray yourself as somebody that is not you. And as a result of that, you end up unhappy. And as a result of you being unhappy, you don't even want to make music anymore. You don't even want to be in the limelight anymore, because all these people have this perception of how you should be to them that you lose sight of who you are, and you don't even get to demonstrate your true self. Every time an artist goes through something, if they speak against it, if they speak, in response to it, and they're very passionate about it, people automatically demonize them. And they automatically say, oh, I don't like the way that they're snapping at their fans, blah, blah, blah. You should sit down and know your place and all this stuff. We're human beings, man. We're human beings. Artists are human beings. And that's the way that you should operate yourself as a musician who's growing an audience. There's no way that you can really be happy if you're constantly trying to satisfy somebody else's image of you. You have to be 100% yourself. Why this is important when you're growing your audience is because, let's say you paint yourself to be something that you're not, right? And you try to keep up this image for such a long time, and you do it for years and years and years. By the time that you get well into your music career, these fans are expecting you to act a certain way, to talk a certain way, to look a certain way. They have this image of what your brand is because you followed the cookie cutter way to present yourself to these people. And once you get to the point to where you're tired of being that cookie cutter person, and you decide to step into who you really are, and it's completely the polar opposite of who you really are, these people are going to be like, wait a minute, that's not Legend. Wait a minute, that's not Michael Jackson. Wait a minute, that's not Chris Brown. Who is this? Who is this new person? They're going to be completely put off. Number one, they're not going to like who you are because you've presented yourself all this time as somebody totally different. That's who they fell in love with. That's who they became a fan of. The image that you presented, not the actual you. And so when you present the actual you, they don't like you. So then that's when you start to lose fans. That's when people start to say you've changed and go back to the old you and do this, do that. They see you as a product rather than a person. And while yes, your music is a product, your brand is part of that product, you are still a person. The person who creates these things is still at the center. People evolve, people change, but not only that, people are people. And the reason I'm bringing this part up is because I am the type of person who I always respond. I always rebuttal. I always debate. I always get into these conversations with people on my channel, especially if something is said that is negative, that is not correct, that is offensive to me, that rubs me the wrong way, or there's some kind of misinformation, anything like that. I always respond very sternly, very passionately, because once again, I'm passionate about this music. And all of a sudden people, you shouldn't be responding like that. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be taking a more calm approach. Why do you even give your time to the people in the comments? Just don't waste your time with them and do this and do that. I'm not the kind of person that turns the cheek when it comes to those kinds of things. I interact. I talk a lot. I converse a lot. I am a very talkative person. I'm a Gemini. That's what I do. I'm very expressive. I like to get my thoughts out. I like for people to understand me. But in me doing that, I get people who say, you're rude, you're mean, why are you attacking me? I'm unsubscribing, I don't want to be here anymore, this channel, da-da-da-da. They're just saying all this stuff about me. And that's fine, but it's because they don't understand that I am just a straightforward, passionate, honest person. That's who I am. That's my branding as an artist, as a person. And so instead of me trying to follow the cookie cutter way, bowing down to everybody all the time and all your needs and all this stuff, instead of doing that, I'm just 100% me. And if I want to answer and respond back to something, I'm going to do that. If artists want to respond back to something, they should be allowed to do that. You shouldn't have to hide who you are to your fans. You don't need to put on a fake front to satisfy people. That's not going to be sustainable in the long run. You need to find people who like you for you. Find fans and supportive people who like you for you, who appreciate you for you. And this is why I will continue to be the person that I am on my channel. I am me, and I want people to like me for me as a person, not just a musician because my songs are good, but as a die-hard fan of who I am. The people that appreciate my input, the people that appreciate the passion that I show, the people who don't tell me to stay silent when a point needs to be made because there's incorrect knowledge being spread around. Anyway, I'm saying all this to say that the next move for the music industry, actually the move that is happening right now, the trend that is happening right now, is authenticity. You want to be authentic. This is all it boils down to. Being authentic with your audience, being authentic with yourself, being authentic with the companies that you work with, the people that you work with, the people that you collaborate with. Everybody, be your authentic self. Look at Lady Gaga when she first started. She was doing all this crazy stuff, wearing meat dresses and hanging on crosses and blood gushing down and all this crazy stuff. That's who she was. That's who she wanted to be. She's a very openly creative person, and she demonstrated that from the get-go. No matter what people said about her, she did everything that she did because she wanted to, and that's who she was. But the thing is, her fans love her for that. All kinds of other artists, their fans love them for who they are. Their fans love them for being direct. Their fans love them for being honest. Their fans love them for not shying away from expressing themselves and how they feel about particular situations. And so you as an artist, you cannot feel pressured to be somebody that you're not. You have to be 100% you. My brand and my artistry and who I am on this channel on YouTube, I am going to stay me forever, and I'm going to consistently be the person who voices his opinion, because that is what I do. I express myself, and that is what I'm here to do. And I'm only here for the people who want to get that from me. That is my brand. That is me as an artist. You see my music. You see how I talk about cheat codes and being cheated on, and I basically put my ex on blast. You see how I talk about, you know, how I made mistakes in my past and I just air out all my dirty laundry. That is who I am. I'm an expressive person. I'm not afraid to show it. I'm not here to cookie cut. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm here to be 100% honest, 100% expressive. And so I highly encourage all of you aspiring artists, producers out there, anybody who wants to eventually be in the public eye for your musical creations, I encourage you, be yourself. if you're weird, if you're strange, if you're straightforward, if you're very blunt, if you're very quiet, if you're laid back, if you're just reserved, if you're, I don't know, funny, if you're a comedian, whatever it may be, exploit these things. Be who you are and don't let people tell you you need to be something else. For you to build an audience that loves you undyingly, no matter what kind of music you make or who you are, like whatever, they're going to love you and be a fan of you as a human being first, and your music later. It's going to be like they're your friends, you know? They come to you because they like your personality, and your music is what follows. You become a slave to your audience if you're bowing down to everything that they want you to be, instead of just being who you are. Whether people like it or not, that's up to them. You can't change people's opinions or what they like, what they don't like, but you can control who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Don't let your career start off the wrong way by allowing somebody else who's just a listener to dictate how you should be. I am Legend. Stay legendary.